Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode in the Journey to Versions. We have increased the version up to Alpha 1.0.7. Unfortunately, performance issues are still here, as you saw by that freeze. I don't quite know how to solve it myself yet. But, I do believe that today we'll be building a lighthouse, as a way to cap off our little waterfront area here. Now, where should we build a lighthouse? That's the thing. I don't think we should build it behind the buildings, despite the fact that it'd be most reasonable to put it there if you want pure visibility. I think ultimately it should be a bit away from the base, say over there. But the building project itself requires a lot of wood, so we need to get chopping. Alright. That should be enough to do something with the lighthouse. I do have to figure out how to shape it again, but that shouldn't be too difficult. I think I'll shape it with dirt actually. That way we can get the general shape and then we can gradually replace the blocks with wood and stone as we need. I do hope this shape turns out good, since whilst I'm building this, I'm not actually taking any steps to look at it from afar. Why I'm not doing that, I don't know. But at the same time, I have faith it will turn out looking alright in shape. Besides, I have a pretty good method for shrinking the circle. Now in terms of shape, it is a bit big, but I think as a base for a lighthouse, like the base general shape, it is a bit steep on moving inwards, but that just makes it look like it has more personality. That is really imposing, actually. I kind of like it because that, once again, that makes it really visible. It doesn't stop it from being super imposing. Ooh, this is always where the building starts to get a bit daunting, because it starts reaching a point where you have to just hope you're heading the right way. So yeah, this is probably one of the least fun parts about building, is building up on structures that really are not designed to be built up on. Now remember, this is the bottom layer, and now we need to start spiraling wood around it. Alright. Oh! That was one of the dumbest things I could have done. I forgot that water, that doesn't save you. That doesn't save you from that height normally. Oh man, and there's creepers. Look, that creeper's coming straight for me. Well, we make this all wood here because this is the lower bounds. Oh. Right, we could have just been building on the inside the whole time. Now this lighthouse doesn't actually have a foundation in the ground, and that admittedly is a bit of a mistake, but we can rectify that. I do think it will end up looking pretty good when it's done. A bit short, but that's just because of how it is. Please get out of here, skeleton. I'm building a lighthouse. Don't you see, skeleton? I'm building a lighthouse, so please quit shooting at me, man. I see you coming after me. I don't want to go against you, man. I don't want to build my lighthouse. Sorry about that. Because I let my emotions get the better of me. You can start to see why I just completely slowed down the descent for the sake of, well, honestly, for the sake of my own sanity whilst building. But the lighthouse itself, aside from lacking a bit of contrast due to our limited block palette, this looks incredible. Anyways, let's go get ourselves some stone and we can start working on the top. As we reach the final layer, I wonder, will this be worth it in the end? The answer is always going to be yes, by the way. There is never a time where it doesn't feel worth it. But there is a time when we do need to actually plateau, and that is this time right here. Look at that view of the base. It's a bit far away, but it will expand over time, most likely into this mountain range. That is because, honestly, that's the only direction I see that we can expand. Everywhere else is water. And I don't exactly want to expand into water, so the mountain range is arguably the best bet. So for starters, we could probably put a slight railing around, just so people don't fall off. Now the glass might look a bit silly once you look at an aerial view, because it's going to be very obvious that it's floating. But from the ground view, which is where we'll be seeing it for the most part, it'll be fine. Okay, I think I know what I did wrong. And what I did wrong was I made that parallel with that at the bottom there. When in reality, that needs to be about, I'd say 1 block further inwards, and not all the way out. Maybe even we could just have it in line with the glass. That way, we'll get the sort of still, is that convex? I'm gonna have to say convex shape to it. Alright, that looks to be it for this build. This spiral staircase is actually quite nice to climb up. And the lighthouse itself, let's get ourselves a further look at it. Well, I have to say, it's looking pretty solid. Anyways, now that the lighthouse is done, I will be seeing you all later.